Hi, my name is Tamir. I'm a human rights lawyer, and I'm recording this message to my awake brothers and sisters all over the world. 3 years ago, there was a war launched on humankind, on mankind. It was World War III in my point of view. It's a very sophisticated war because the majority of the world does not recognize that we are in it. Our basic rights are being diminished without no privilege to do it. Human rights are not given to us by anybody. They are only recognized by legal systems or governments or regimes. Normally, the recognition in human rights was developed after tragedies and atrocities and conflicts. Only when we are causing a lot of suffer to each other, a lot of suffering, then after that we wake up, clean the wounds, and recognize that we have to look on the people around us with dignity and respect, and should never see anybody else around us as a threat just by being in and of itself, just by living their lives as they are. So the World Economic Forum had their last meeting lately, and they presented there that in workplaces they are already using and are going to spread this practice devices that they make people, the workers, to wear, and they can hack their brain. They can actually detect their brain activity, and they know not really what they're thinking, but how they are reacting to situation. They know if they're upset, if they're happy, if they're efficient, if they're focused on their tasks or not. And people actually accepting that. Now, this is a violation of a basic human rights, which in my point of view, maybe the most important one: privacy. Our privacy is important for us to maintain freedom. Without it, we are lost. Society will be lost. Mankind will be lost. I would like to say something. Technology doesn't have any direction. You can use nuclear power in order to make electricity, but you can use also nuclear power to make a bomb. So it's up to us to decide what do we want to do with the technology. In my point of view, for instance, using the technology, the very advanced technology that we have right now, can lead us to much better democracy, direct democracy. We can have like kind of a referendum. We can have kind of a poll for almost any decision that officials are taking for us today in our times. So until that happens, we have to strive and fight for that thing to be on the table, to be discussed. Same goes with our privacy when it comes to health decisions. This is something that is so important, and for me it's still hard to believe how quickly people were willing to strip themselves and not go out in masses to the streets, even though many did, but not enough to fight against stripping our privacy in our medical health. For instance, the health certificates, that this resembles very much to what the Nazis have done with the health passes, the QR code, green tag, or other names that they gave to it. Once the World Health Organization is going to launch their plan for digital passport, which means that every information that we hold for what we have done or avoided in medical procedures will be taken under consideration about where, if we can move places. We might also will get some grades at some point if we are a threat to one another, or actually if we are behaving right according to the regimes, the governments. This concept has to be pushed away. And we have to make sure that we are not going to go back to normal. I remember Bill Gates said at one point at the beginning that until 7 billion people, or how many of us are living in this world right now, are not going to be jabbed, not going to get the shots that he so wants so much to push on us, then we will never go back to normal. And I would like to send back the message from me and from all the sane people in the world to Mr. Gates. We are not going to go back to normal until you and your insane ideas are going to go away. And we are going to keep fighting until the last moment for our privacy, for our generation, for mankind, for our children, and make sure that we use technology right and not the wrong way that you and other people are trying to do. So our weapon is to spread the ideas and the concept that we are free people. We had always been like that. This new generation now that we are living here right now, it's kind of only 90 years before the Germans started their plan, and after that came World War II, and I think the majority of us believed that we're over it. What we have said, never again. But the way that people act to each other led me to understand that people were asleep. They forgot, and they were willing to be very aggressive to other people just because they got a story that was making them to be in fear. And that was also launched with a very serious propaganda. So the problem is that we might need to go again to such a huge tragedy where many peoples will be lost, many lives will be lost, but we also can have the advantage to spread the information, to remind people the history, to wake people up, and make sure that we are not going back to normal. We are not dealing with regular politics, internal conflicts, war, economy. Yeah, by the way, the whole thing about the digital currency, and they want to make one digital new currency for the whole world. It's also a plan. We have to fight against everything that is diminishing our privacy and our freedom and our right to make our own decisions for ourselves, for our bodies. I want to say something to finalize it with. There is no greater good. There is no the good of society that is in conflict with the rights of an individual. Society is made up by individual. If there is something that is bad for an individual, it is definitely bad for the whole society, because society is combined by individuals. So don't be fooled, and don't forget that even that the measure had been lifted, it's only temporary, and they are preparing to launch the second phase, which is going to be much worse, and we have to be prepared. So please spread this message around. Talk with your families, brothers and sisters, wake them up. Don't let them deal with other stuff. Make sure that this is the main topic. Until we push the bad guys away, we shall not stop. Thanks for listening.